Hello and welcome, Exiles, to my first build of the 10 build challenge. And if you're wondering, this is what the arena will look like if you do no damage in Uber Shaper, because straight up this fight took forever. The build plan I went with here was Forbidden Rite Guardian, which was maybe a mistake on my end because I really don't know much of the mechanics of Forbidden Rite. I was just YOLOing it. I said, hey, this skill scales with some percent damage based on my life. Maybe if I stack a bunch of life and a bunch of ES, it'll do damage. That was the wrong thought process, because no, it doesn't. And I realized, it kicked my butt into gear. I need to take this challenge a little bit more seriously, and I can't just YOLO a two brain cell idea where I stuck two ideas together and I thought, yeah, that'll work. But moral of the story is, the character's tanky. It deals no damage. In my defense, though, I only am on a 5 link here, okay? So it could deal 50% more damage of 0, which is a massive increase, in case you're wondering. Also, I should state that I got screwed by tainted fusings. Okay, I went like 3 or 4 times over the average of tainted fusings to 6 link, and that's why I'm running this on a 5 link. Based on the rules of the challenge, it's basically you get free up to 5 link and recoloring and 20 normal gems. Stuff like that is paid for. That's covered. That's not an attentive budget, as that's stuff you would normally get just leveling up your character anyways. And we're just doing this like in a 6-hour session. We're respecking characters and just going for it. But anyways, let's get in game and I'll talk to you guys a little bit about what the hell this character is and what was my idea behind it. So the idea behind this character, where I thought Forbidden Rite plus Guardian, was basically Ivory Tower, stack some attributes, strengthen it, get a big HP pool, then turn that HP into ES, basically have a big HP and ES pool. And then Forbidden Rite itself has some scaling. It says it deals 12% of your life pool, so 12% of 7,000, which is roughly like, I don't know, 800 flat damage. And then another 5% of your ES pool. 5% of 13,000 is roughly like another 700 damage. So I have I have basically 1,500 flat chaos on top of this skill for my HP scaling. Unfortunately, hey, what's up, little guy? Yeah. Unfortunately for me, my plan to have percent damage scaling in the build was basically just Wrath Pith and Iron Will, and ultimately, because my character really isn't as high-end in terms of gear and how scuffed our gear was, we really couldn't scale it. Like, basically, this would be similar or akin to like how you would build a Energy Blade Inquisitor, where you'd spec all the way around the tree and your int and your strength would carry you. But in those characters, they usually get around 1,500 and 1,500 strength, and they get a hell of a lot more ES, a hell of a lot more life, and the scaling maybe starts to make sense at that point. But for me, with my scuffed potato budget, I got barely a fraction of that. And this is the scenario when you talk about stacking characters, where if you don't really hit the higher end levels of gear, stacking characters they start to really jump up exponentially the better and better your gear gets in terms of how that scales. Long story short is, aside from that, the character conceptually, damage scaling wise, cast speed scaling wise, it really didn't have enough there to work. But the idea was stack a bunch of int, strength, life, ES, have some flat damage for Forbidden Rite, get some percent damage scaling for Wrathpith. Now on top of that, the thing that I thought would be interesting with this character was I was actually using Searing Purity Jewels, where I would take the chaos damage from Forbidden Rite that it was hitting me with, and it would deal elemental damage to me, and then Graven Secret would turn my power charges into the absorption charges, which absorption charges give 12% elemental damage recoup. And so if you stack a few absorption charges, for me, I just had 4 because I didn't actually grab any on the tree, which probably was another misplay on my part. Basically, Forbidden Rite starts to heal me when I cast it on top of my big ES regen and yada, yada, yada. That was kind of the concept in my head. Ultimately, I don't know if there was enough really to support it with the way I built this character like a complete potato, but that was the idea I was going for. Guardian, stack some life, get a bunch of armor, have a big EHP pool, have high regen, and then Forbidden Rite hopefully would deal damage with the flat we got from our HP pool and the percent damage scaling we got from Wrathpith. Ultimately, I fell a bit short on crit chance, cast speed, and percent damage on my character was ultimately lower than it really needed to be for this character to work. Long story short, I think the Forbidden Flame and Flesh, for the way this character was scaling, I really couldn't afford to give up the power charges. I needed the crit, and I probably couldn't afford to give up the jewel sockets. I needed the extra damage scaling, and I couldn't afford to give up the belt slot. I needed the attribute scaling. So I gave up a lot to force this recoup into the build, and ultimately I think it probably was a misplay on my part. Not only that, but it gouged me for 4 divines of my 10 divine budget, and so that right there is part of the reason I'm on a 5 link. So moral of the story is, I YOLO'd Seared Purity because I've never played them before, and well, I got screwed by tainted fusings, and ultimately I flopped and I only killed Uber Shaper. But hey, at least I killed 1 Uber boss. So that is the 10 div build challenge, and if I was going to show you this on a Google Doc, do I have access? I don't have it pulled up. I'm not gonna worry about it, but point is, if you come to my Twitch channel, you can do the exclamation point 10 div, and that'll give you a link to the Google Doc, which showcases Ruetoo and the builds he's done and the POBs for them, as well as the builds I've done and how successful. We're going to basically keep track of these 7 builds we're going to do in 7 days. I'm going to keep updating you guys with a video each day on the build I do. Tonight, I am probably going to get a little bit more of a serious mindset, probably do something I know a little bit better for scaling. I think I'm going to go with a Trickster, and I think I'm going to go with a Trapper. A Trickster Trapper, and that'll be tonight, and hopefully tonight I can bring home 7 for 7 on Ubers on 10 divines. That's the goal. Anyways, as always, hopefully you enjoyed this video for the 10 div challenge that Ruetoo challenged me to, and I hear Tripolar Bear is also going to be taking the challenge, so you might see some videos by him as well. Anyways, take care, Exiles. Have a good one. Peace out.